The following episode will contain spoilers. You have been warned.
You're listening to Cinema IRL, the podcast that throws you into the movie and asks the question, what would you do? Hell of a Summer was a horror film. That's pretty much what I can say and still be nice. And now, Cinema IRL.
I wish I could switch places for just one day.
What would you do?
Put yourself in my shoes.
How do we handle this?
What would you do?
Put yourself in my position.
What would you do?
Now it's your turn.
So apparently this was just a giant mashup of like every horror film that you could possibly imagine. I basically at first thought I was just watching a sequel for Friday the 13th because, yeah, campers get killed at summer camp. Never seen that one happen before.
Yeah, we certainly have that foundational, hey, let's go to camp theme here in this episode, which is the movie Hell of a Summer, which it follows 24-year-old camp counselor Jason Hochberg, who arrives at Camp Pineway thinking his biggest problem is that he feels out of touch with his teenage coworkers. What he doesn't know is that a mass killer is lurking on the campgrounds, brutally picking counselors off one by one. So yeah, definitely a familiar theme here. And this is, I guess, from one of the kids from Stranger Things, Finn Wolfhard.
Oh, he wrote it?
Produced it, wrote it. I definitely has his hands on this a lot. So
ChatGPT, I want you to write me a horror film that's basically Friday the 13th, but only instead of a hockey mask, they wear a double mask, and it's one of the participants. Okay.
Okay, well, spoiler there. So Jason is going to camp. His mommy's taking him to camp, wondering why he's still going to camp.
Yeah, so was I.
And he gets there and can't find the couple that runs the camp. It's because, FYI, they got brutally murdered the night before. And all the camp counselors come, basically, probably older teenagers. And Jason is trying to fit in, trying to enjoy, I love camp, I don't ever want to leave camp, trying to be in charge until the owners come back, which, of course, they're not. And chaos ensues.
Yeah. It's just basically one killing after another. I'm going to go straight into the what would you do's on this one.
Okay.
I didn't particularly love this movie. I didn't hate it. It just was...
I was a little disappointed. I expected a little bit more from it, honestly.
Yeah, the previews made it sound like it was like a really great movie, and it wasn't. So if you're the killers, and you want to be famous, and you're just there to brutalize and murder people, why torture? Specifically, why take the guy who's tied up, and you could just kill him at will, but he has a peanut allergy, so you get peanut butter and feed that to him for one.
Oh no, I don't think they fed that to him. Okay, so
you think they laced it on the knife just to
jab him with it so you get the peanut. So one of the kids gets captured is tied up and he has a peanut allergy, and the killer takes the knife, he dunks it in peanut butter, I assume to stab him with the peanut butter knife, so then the peanut butter is in his body. There's no waiting for it.
At first I thought he was just going to feed it to him.
Yeah, no, I definitely thought he stabbed him with the peanut butter knife. So
maybe
peanut butter's
but
in
that's
his
the thing.
Blood.
Why? You have a knife. If you're going to stab him, you don't need the peanut butter. Just stab him.
Well, theatrics, that's why. Theatrics. Every killer embraces theatrics.
Well, yes, but this is the IRL. If I'm a serial
So
killer.
if I'm a serial killer, I'm going to get straight to the killing with my knife. I'm not going to bother.
I'm not leaving calling cards. I'm not torturing.
But that's what you have to do if you're a serial killer. You leave killing cards.
Killing
cards.
Hey, there you go. Killing cards. New term coined by Amber.
Okay, so one of the what would you do's that I think would be interesting here. So at one point, all of the counselors think it's Jason, the 24-year-old who is the killer. And they restrain him, they tie him up, and they're going to torture him to get information, which who the hell cares? You just wait it out until you can get the cops, and the cops can do it. You don't need to interrogate somebody there. Just if you think they're the killer, get them under control, and then
And how the fuck do you think he's the killer? That dude was so timid and so physically awkward. Like you don't gain lots of strength and prowess by putting on a mask.
Yeah, Jason is very happy-go-lucky but insecure. Definitely not the makings of a murderer.
Yeah, not exactly the big beefy killer type.
So one of the campers, or one of the counselors rather, that he has a more solid relationship with, comes in, releases him, and says, we gotta go now. And they venture out into the woods and they find the two owners of the camp dead in the woods. And then they really realize, like, oh shoot, help isn't coming. They're not coming back. All of their tires have been slashed and their cars disabled, and they're 30 miles away from any place. So they don't have a lot of options. And Jason says, hey, everybody's really in trouble. We should go back. And the gal he's with says, no, why would we do that? They tried to kill you. And he was like, no, I'm in charge. It's the right thing to do. We got to do this. And
Hell no.
yeah.
Hell no. Those fuckers can die.
Yeah, I would agree, because someone ties me up and is going to torture me. Okay, number one, I really don't care if you die. And number two, at best, like, I'm not going to endanger my life to save you because I'm in charge. Okay, yeah, you're a couple of years older, but once people turn on you and try to torture you, I'd say any sort of humanity there is kind of, yeah.
Yeah, and let me give you another what would you do for him. If I'm going into the people who run the camp's office and see a note that says, we're behind by a day, we'll see you.
Well, I didn't exactly say that, but
He's been at that camp for how long? He said like something like 6 years.
yeah.
Surely, I mean, he's been a counselor. Surely he's been in a position where he has seen their handwriting before.
You know, it's funny you thought that. Yeah, they basically said, minor emergency, everything's fine, we'll be back ASAP. Yeah, I thought that too, but also too, I realized that it was handwritten, it was all capital letters. Capital letters are generally harder to trace in regards to someone's handwriting. And I did question that as well, but then I thought, well, you know, why are they writing?
I mean, I'd also question, why is it all in handwritten in all caps? Like, that's frickin' weird.
I don't know. I've written notes in all capital letters.
You're a monster.
I don't think I am. So, okay, so we both agree, what would you do? Would not go back for the selfish people who are going to torture me.
No.
So, Jason goes back, and he is going to save everybody. And while all of this is happening, we realize that two of the counselors, one who is an influencer, are the killers. And what I didn't understand, and from a what would you do, the gal, Demi, and her boyfriend, what was her boyfriend, Mike, are going to do all this killing, and then they're going to get famous.
Yeah, so this is
Why would you want to get famous for being a murderer?
This is the ultimate fame at any price. Like, you're literally, all you want to do is be famous. You don't even care how.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're like, I don't know, 85 and you haven't done anything with your life and you desperately have wanted to be famous, sure, maybe I might go on a murderous spree. But she's what?
Yeah.
Early 20s? Girl, you still got time. You got time to get famous. You don't need to do it through mass murder.
Yeah, and she's already, checking with her audience. You can already tell she's a prima donna because she basically is packed for camp like Elle Woods carries around all of her suitcases.
Wow, yeah, what a fucking princess.
And it didn't make sense to me. So once Demi and Mike find out that all the counselors think that good-natured Jason is the murderer, then they're like, oh, maybe we can come up with a different plan, and we'll say we are the ones who survived this, and we got to kill off everybody else.
Which is a much better plan.
It is a much better plan. So what would you do? I would be the survivor out of the gate, other than the killer, who wants to be known as being a killer.
Well, I mean, really, the better plan is you go, you kill everyone.
Okay, again, we're laying plans how to execute crimes here. Don't execute crimes, people.
You then put all the killer stuff on one of the people that you killed.
Yeah.
And you tell them, hey, we were the only two who survived. We got him killed.
Yeah, and I know that's happened in other horror movies I've seen that is definitely familiar to me. I know I've seen that before.
I mean, if I'm desperately wanting fame that bad, I'm just going to frame someone else for murder. I mean, now, mind you, I do not want fame that bad. I'm not looking to frame someone else for murder. But if I'm an influencer who is just desperate as hell for some fame, even if it's infamy.
Yeah. So I guess another what would you do here that we can explore is Bobby and Miley. So Miley is our token vegan.
God.
And I feel like they added her for comic relief.
Absolutely. She was every stereotype that you could imagine a vegan being on drugs.
On drugs? Why did you say that?
I mean, it was massively overdone.
Yeah, they definitely made a caricature of what a vegan could be like who is a teenager age in today's world.
The what the F is it? Like right before she died, she's going to eat a burger?
Yeah, what would you do? I don't know why she was even toying with a burger. That was weird. And then when she died, I was okay with that because, you know, if you're a vegan and you're there for ethical reasons, what the heck are you doing looking at a burger?
I mean, she made it clear she was an ethical vegan.
Yeah. Not a health vegan where you're just.
I mean, she might have been a health vegan too, but she was definitely an ethical vegan.
Yeah, she was aware of the dangers of factory farms and the dairy industry.
So, are you just an ethical hypocrite?
Yeah, that whole thing of
do what I say, not what I double pounder, or double quarter pounder.
But Bobby, being a typical teenage boy, yeah, he's gonna pretend to be the same way, and he did a good job.
Yeah, let me tell you, that was a pussy at any cost situation.
That's interesting. So I guess that's kind of fun to explore with you. What would you do? Like, have you ever been in that situation where some girl you really like is into something and then you have to pretend, hey, I do that too. I like that hobby too. Oh, you make candles? I make candles too.
No, I've never done that. Now, that said, I do tend to be somewhat chameleon-like. So if you're into it, there's a decent chance you could get me into it, or at least try to. And I'll give it a shot, but I'm not going to be like, yeah, I'm a vegan too. No.
So the other interesting character here was Ezra. And Ezra was another caricature, kind of a theater geek, very dramatic.
Oh,
and
God. The characters in this movie were so over the top stereotypical.
And you know, that's part of what made it look fun in the previews is that it did seem so campy.
Yeah, it's like they fell just short on the campy factor. If they had leaned into that a little bit more, I think I would have liked the movie more. I mean, don't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah, there's a funny line that Ezra has as they're going around and looking for phones because part of the process when you go to Camp Pinewood is you got to turn in your phone, which I'm all for. What would you do if I run a summer camp? Yeah, leave your freaking phone and you don't get to use it and you actually enjoy the people and the woods and the lake and stuff like that.
Even I actually agree with that. And you know me and my phone are not often separated.
Yeah, you are BFFs. So Ezra is along with a group. They're trying to find some phone somewhere that works because their phones have been stolen. So they're looking for landlines, they're looking for their phones, and they find a landline and they pick it up, and Ezra says, the line's been cut. And he's like, I've always wanted to say that. I got to tell you, I can appreciate the humor there, but if I say that, it means I'm in trouble. So what would you do? I don't ever want to say the words, the line's been cut, because I'm in dire straits.
Yeah, why do you want to say that particular line so bad?
Because it's kind of an iconic line. The line's been cut.
Wait, from what?
Everything. Every thriller and horror movie.
I've heard like the line's dead, but the line's been cut. I can't think of a single. Again, I'm sure it's been used. I was like, what is he making reference to?
I think that's just an unfortunate side effect of you not generally being someone who gravitates towards thrillers and chillers. It's a very, very common line. I think anyone would know if they watch films in that genre.
Yeah. So, if I'm a 24-year-old, I'm probably not going to summer camp, especially if the year prior I had just made a huge deal about how this was going to be my last year at summer camp. And that's the thing, too. He kept saying that the owners personally reached out to him and wanted him to come back.
Yeah, I thought that was questionable.
Yeah, I think he was straight lying.
So what would I do? I would not kill people to be famous as a murderer.
No.
If I was restrained and tortured, or the threat of torture because people thought I was a murderer, I would not stick around if I had the opportunity to run.
Yep.
If I was running in the woods and then all of a sudden felt like I should go back and help the people that wanted to torture and hurt me, I would not go back.
Yeah, I don't care if the nearest town is 30 miles away. I don't give a shit. I'm not going back to the camp.
Yeah.
What are you going to do at the camp? They've taken the phone, presumably dumped them in the lake or something. They've cut the lines. What are you going to do at the camp?
I don't know. I think you're going to die.
I mean, you could sleep, but you're probably going to die. At least if you go out on the roads, you've got some kind of a chance.
What would you do? Run.
We hope you enjoyed our episode. Thank you for listening. And to catch all the new episodes, please subscribe. We release 2 to 3 episodes weekly, so we'll have new content regularly. Until next time.